Habibi gang, welcome back to Pundit Habibi. Are you ready for another deep dive into the Premier League?
Always ready for some footy talk.
This midweek match day 14 was absolutely crazy. Twists and turns.
Goals galore.
You name it.
Yeah, it was a wild one.
Seriously though, can we just take a minute to appreciate that 3-3 draw at St. James's Park? Liverpool and Newcastle just trading blows like heavyweight champions.
What a match.
Nobody saw that coming.
I definitely did not. We'll get into that absolute thriller later in the deep dive, but first let's rewind and look at some of the other results.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's kick things off at the Emirates, where Arsenal hosted Manchester United.
Big game.
Huge. Big 2-0 victory for Arteta's side, and a bit of a reality check for Amorim and his Red Devils.
Yeah, it was a crucial win for Arsenal. It brings them a little closer to Liverpool at the top of the table. And yeah, not a great day for Amorim. That's the end of his unbeaten run as Manchester United manager.
He had a good thing going for a while there. But Arsenal really shut them down. Although that first half was a bit of a chess match, wouldn't you say? Not a ton of clear-cut chances. Partey missed that great opportunity early on. Delade nearly snuck one in for United.
Yeah, it was a cagey first half for sure. A lot of tactical back and forth.
Right.
But I think you could feel the tide turning towards Arsenal as the game progressed. They were starting to control the tempo, and their set pieces were looking particularly dangerous.
And speaking of set pieces, boom. Second half starts, corner kick, and Timber puts Arsenal ahead. We've been saying it all season, but Arsenal's set pieces are just a different beast.
Absolutely.
They're so well drilled on those routines.
22 goals from corners since the start of last season. That's insane. Their set piece coach, Nicholas Jover, deserves a raise.
Oh, yeah.
They're overloading that near post, creating chaos for defenses, and consistently putting the ball in dangerous areas.
It's not just luck, it's design.
Right.
And Saliba's goal later in the match, also from a set piece, just hammered on that point. Even with United trying to adjust, Arsenal were just too sharp.
They even had chances to make it even worse for United. Havertz and Marino both missed opportunities to really put the game to bed.
Talk about missed opportunities. But hey, a win's a win. Meanwhile, down at Villa Park, Unai Emery was probably feeling a huge weight lift off his shoulders as Aston Villa finally broke their winless streak, beating Brentford 3-1.
8 games without a win?
I know.
That's a tough stretch for any manager.
Yeah.
And with Emery's history of 9-game winless streaks, that victory against Brentford was massive for him psychologically.
And they didn't just win, they came out firing. First half blips, Rodgers with that absolute stunner of an opener.
What a goal.
Watkins calmly slots in a penalty, and then Cash gets in on the action with a close-range finish. They were up 3-0 at halftime, just like that.
Talk about a statement. Brentford did manage to pull one back through Damsgaard in the second half, but to be honest, Villa were in control for most of the match. They even had a chance to make it 4-1, but Watkins couldn't quite convert.
I bet Emery doesn't care one bit. A win's a win, and that one must have felt extra sweet. Now, Habibi gang, let's shift gears and head up north to Goodison Park, where things got a bit crazy. Everton, they absolutely dismantled Wolves 4-0. We're talking their biggest home win in ages.
Huge result for Sean Dyche and the Toffees. They really needed that, especially after a string of tough results.
Yeah.
And the match even had a bit of history to it.
History indeed. Ashley Young, at 39 years old, becomes the oldest player to score 50 Premier League goals.
Wow.
What a legend. To be playing at that level at his age is already incredible, but to reach that milestone, that's just remarkable.
It speaks volumes about his professionalism, his fitness, and his love for the game.
Yeah.
You don't achieve that kind of longevity without a deep passion for what you do. And it wasn't just Young's goal that made this match memorable.
You're telling me we had VAR drama, a disallowed goal from Tarkowski initially, but then Mangala smashes one in to make it 2-0, and then, you won't believe this, 2 own goals by Dawson. Poor guy. You just got to feel for him.
Oh man, sometimes it's just not your day, is it?
Nope.
But those own goals really highlight the kind of pressure Everton were putting on Wolves.
Absolutely.
They were relentless, forcing errors and capitalizing on every opportunity.
And speaking of missed opportunities, you know who we have to talk about? Calvert-Lewin. The man just can't buy a goal at the moment. It's like he's cursed.
He had a few decent chances in this match.
I know, right?
But it seems like his luck just isn't in at the moment. He's getting into the right positions.
Yeah.
But that final touch just seems to be eluding him. The good news for Everton is that they still got the win and a clean sheet without him finding the net.
Exactly. And that clean sheet is particularly important. This victory takes some of the heat off Dyche, while O'Neill over at Wolves is probably feeling the pressure mounting. Speaking of pressure, let's head over to the Etihad, where Man City were hoping to get their season back on track after a bit of a wobble. They were up against Nottingham Forest, and, well, they definitely made a statement with a dominant 3-0 win.
It was the City we've come to expect. They were back to their dominant best, controlling possession, creating chances, and just smothering Forest. It was a reminder of why they've been champions so many times. It all started with the return of a certain Belgian maestro.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Of course.
You could just feel the difference he made as soon as he stepped onto the pitch. His vision, his passing range, the way he dictates the tempo of the game, it's just on another level.
Absolutely.
And to top it all off, he scores a goal.
That goal was vintage De Bruyne. He just glides past defenders, finds that little pocket of space, and curls the ball into the top corner. It was a thing of beauty, and it reminded everyone why he's considered one of the best midfielders in the world.
Absolutely. Bernardo Silva got things started early with a well-taken goal, and Doku added a third in the second half to seal the deal. City were in cruise control.
You could tell they were determined to put their recent struggles behind them. They created a ton of chances, with Gvardiol and Wood both missing good opportunities.
It makes you wonder, though, if it's too little, too late for City in the title race.
Yeah.
They've dug themselves a pretty deep hole.
It's a massive uphill battle, for sure. 10 points behind Liverpool, although they do have a game in hand. But with De Bruyne back to his best, you can never count them out completely. They've shown they have the quality to go on a winning streak.
All right, Habibi gang, brace yourselves, because it's time to relive that absolute barnstormer at St. James's Park. Liverpool and Newcastle, 3-3, a match that had everything. Goals, drama, controversy, you name it.
It was a match that had me on the edge of my seat from start to finish. The atmosphere was electric, the intensity was palpable, and both teams were going for it.
Where do we even begin with this one? It felt like every time I looked up at the screen, someone was scoring.
Newcastle came out of the gates like they were shot out of a cannon.
Unbelievable.
They were pressing high, winning the ball back in dangerous areas, and really putting Liverpool on the back foot. They were hungry for the win.
And Kelleher in the Liverpool goal deserves a shout-out.
Absolutely.
He may have conceded 3, but he made some crucial saves to keep his team in it. Especially in those early stages, he was peppered with shots.
He had a fantastic game despite the scoreline. He showed great composure and made some big saves when it mattered most.
And then, enter Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
That opening goal was just outrageous. Skill, power, a touch of arrogance.
Yeah.
It was like he channeled his inner Zlatan.
Isak was a man possessed in this match. He was causing Liverpool's defense all sorts of problems with his movement, his pace, and his clinical finishing. It was truly a performance to remember.
And the goals just kept coming. Jones equalized for Liverpool. Then Gordon put Newcastle back in front with a fantastic solo effort. Then Salah, being Salah, responds not once, but twice.
It was a back-and-forth battle, a real slugfest.
I know.
The momentum shifted back and forth, both teams refusing to back down. It was incredible to watch.
And just when you thought Liverpool had snatched the win, Scherer pops up with a dramatic late equalizer.
Yeah.
Thanks to a rare error from Kelleher.
Yeah.
Heartbreak for Liverpool, pure ecstasy for Newcastle. That's the Premier League for you, Habibi gang. Unpredictable, dramatic, and utterly captivating. But wait, we've got one more result to cover, and it's not a happy one for Southampton fans.
No.
They suffered a heavy 5-1 defeat at the hands of Chelsea at St. Mary's.
Another tough night for Southampton, who remain rooted to the bottom of the table. They showed glimpses of promise early on, but ultimately they were outclassed by a strong Chelsea side.
Yeah, it started well enough for them. Decisive put Chelsea ahead early on, but Aribo equalized for Southampton just a few minutes later, giving the home fans a glimmer of hope.
You could feel the tension in the stadium. Southampton, desperate for a win, were fighting tooth and nail, and Chelsea were looking to assert their dominance. And
Nkuku and Madway then put Chelsea firmly in control, with 2 well-taken goals.
For sure.
But then came the turning point. Jack Stevens, the Southampton captain, gets sent off for pulling Cucurella's hair. What was he thinking? It was such a bizarre and unnecessary incident.
It was a moment of madness from Stevens, and it really cost his team dearly. Southampton were already trailing at that point, and going down to 10 men against a quality side like Chelsea, well, it was game over.
To be fair to Southampton's goalkeeper, Lumley,
Yeah.
he made some fantastic saves throughout the match, even with the scoreline against him.
Absolutely. He was one of the few bright spots for Southampton. He was called upon time and time again, and he made some truly spectacular stops. Chelsea even hit the woodwork 3 times in this match. It could have been an even heavier defeat for Southampton, if not for Lumley's heroics.
It's just one of those matches where everything seems to go wrong. Palmer and Sancho added insult to injury with late goals to make it 5-1. A tough one to swallow for Southampton fans, and you have to wonder if there's any hope left for them this season.
They're staring down a long, hard battle for survival. They desperately need to find a way to turn things around and start picking up points, and fast.
Yeah.
But for now, let's take a break from the doom and gloom and revisit our predictions from the previous episode.
Oh.
It's time to see how well we did, or maybe how badly we messed up.
Oh, I love this part. Always fun to see how our predictions hold up against the reality of this crazy league.
Well, to be fair to ourselves, we didn't do too badly this time around. We got 3 out of 5 correct.
Not bad at all. We correctly predicted Man City's win over Nottingham Forest, Arsenal's victory against Man Utd, and Chelsea's win at Southampton. Those were pretty safe bets, to be honest. But there were a couple of matches where we were a bit off the mark.
We thought Aston Villa might be able to pull off an upset against Brentford.
Yeah.
But they were clearly not ready for that first half onslaught. And we also fancied Everton's chances against Wolves.
Right.
But they completely exceeded our expectations with that 4-0 drubbing.
But the result that really caught everyone by surprise, ourselves included, was that draw between Liverpool and Newcastle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who saw that coming?
Not a soul on this planet, I reckon. It just goes to show the Premier League is full of surprises. Any team can beat any other on their day, and that's what makes it so exciting to watch.
All right, Habibi gang. We've covered a lot of ground so far, but before we move on, we want to hear from you. What shocks you the most from this midweek madness?
Was it Ashley Young's historic goal defying Father Time? Or maybe those 2 unfortunate own goals from Dawson?
Or was it that insane 3-3 draw at St. James's Park that left everyone speechless? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily football deep dives.
We're your one-stop shop for all things Premier League. We've got analysis, insights, predictions, and, of course, plenty of banter.
So join us every day as we break down the latest action, discuss the big talking points, and celebrate the magic of the Premier League.
Now, before we wrap up part 1 of this deep dive, let's take a quick glance at the Premier League table. Liverpool are still clinging to the top spot, but their lead has been cut to 7 points after that draw against Newcastle.
Arsenal are still very much in the hunt.
Yeah.
But they'll need to be at their very best if they want to catch Liverpool. They can't afford any slip-ups from here on out.
And then there's Manchester City, lurking 10 points behind Liverpool, but with a game in hand. It's still a long way back for them, but with De Bruyne firing on all cylinders again, you can't write them off just yet.
It's going to be a fascinating battle for the title, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget about the other teams who are vying for those coveted European qualification spots.
There are still plenty of twists and turns to come in this Premier League season, and we'll be here to break it all down for you every step of the way.
It's shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable title races in recent memory. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more twists and turns along the way.
Absolutely. The Premier League always finds a way to keep us on the edge of our seats. But speaking of individual brilliance, I think we need to dive a bit deeper into Alexander Isak's performance in that Newcastle-Liverpool match. He was simply unplayable at times.
He was on another level in that match. The way he turned Van Dijk inside out for that opening goal was just breathtaking. He made one of the best defenders in the world look like an amateur.
It was like he finally unlocked that next level in his game. Remember, he was heavily linked with a move away from Newcastle in the summer.
Yeah.
But he decided to stay. And now he's showing everyone why they were so keen to keep him.
It's a testament to his talent and his mental fortitude. He could have easily let the transfer speculation affect his game, but instead, he's come back stronger and more determined than ever. And let's not forget his contribution to Newcastle's second goal. That through ball to Gordon was perfectly weighted, splitting the defense and putting Gordon in a prime position to score.
It seems like Isak and Gordon are developing a real understanding on the pitch. They were causing Liverpool all sorts of problems down that left flank with their pace, their movement, and their ability to link up and create chances for each other.
It's an exciting partnership for Newcastle, and it's one that I think will only get stronger as the season progresses. They have the potential to be one of the most dangerous attacking duos in the league.
And speaking of dangerous duos, we have to talk about the Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah.
Oh, yes.
2 more goals for him against Newcastle, taking his tally to 9 goals in his last 7 Premier League appearances. The man is just a goal-scoring machine.
He's in the form of his life right now, and it seems like he's scoring for fun. Sure. He's always been a lethal finisher, but his movement, his decision-making, and his confidence are all at an incredibly high level right now.
His second goal against Newcastle was a classic Salah finish. The way he cut inside onto his left foot and curled the ball past Pope was just effortless. It's like he's playing on a different difficulty setting.
He makes it look so easy, doesn't he? But that's the result of years of hard work, dedication, and an unwavering belief in his abilities. He's a true professional and an inspiration to young players all over the world.
Speaking of inspiration, how about Ashley Young? At 39 years old, he's not only still playing in the Premier League,
I know,
but he's breaking records. He's now the oldest player to reach 50 Premier League goals.
Wow.
What an achievement.
It's a testament to his incredible longevity and his commitment to staying fit and competitive at the highest level. He may not be the flashiest player, but he's a reliable performer, a true leader, and his experience is invaluable to a young Everton side.
He's like a fine wine, just getting better with age. But not every veteran had such a memorable night. Let's talk about Jack Stevens, the Southampton captain, who was shown a straight red card for pulling Mark Cucurella's hair. I mean, what was he thinking?
It was a moment of madness, and it's hard to defend his actions. Southampton were already 3-1 down at that point, and with 10 men, they had absolutely no chance of getting back into the game. It was a reckless and unnecessary act that ultimately cost his team dearly.
It's a shame because for a while it looked like Southampton might actually be able to make a game of it. Aribo's goal had given them some hope.
Right.
But Stevens' red card completely killed their momentum and allowed Chelsea to run riot.
It also highlighted the gulf in quality between the two sides. Chelsea were ruthless in exploiting the numerical advantage, and Southampton simply couldn't cope with their attacking prowess.
Nkunku and Medway were particularly impressive for Chelsea. They were a constant threat going forward, with their pace, their trickery, and their clinical finishing.
Nkunku in particular looks like a real gem. He's already scoring goals, creating chances for his teammates, and he seems to have adapted to the Premier League with remarkable ease. I think he's going to be a superstar for Chelsea.
He's definitely one to watch. Now, Habibi gang, let's shift gears a bit and dive into the tactical side of things. Matchday 14 saw a few interesting trends emerge, and I think it's worth taking a closer look.
Absolutely. One thing that stood out to me was the effectiveness of set pieces. We've already touched upon Arsenal's dominance in this area, but they weren't the only team that capitalized on set piece opportunities.
It's become such a crucial part of the modern game, and teams are investing more and more time and resources into developing creative routines and finding ways to exploit their opponent's weaknesses.
Arsenal's success from set pieces is a perfect example of this. They have a dedicated set-piece coach in Nicholas Jover, who has instilled a real discipline and attention to detail in their approach. They have a variety of routines, they're well-organized, and they have the players who can deliver the ball accurately and attack it with real purpose.
And they're reaping the rewards. It's not just about having tall players. It's about movement, timing, and creating chaos in the box. We saw several other teams score from set pieces this week, including Everton and Aston Villa, which just goes to show how important they can be in deciding the outcome of matches.
It's a reminder to all teams that defending set pieces properly is just as important as attacking them. If you can't defend set pieces effectively, you're going to concede goals, plain and simple. Another tactical trend that we've been seeing more and more of this season is the use of high pressing. Newcastle in particular were very effective in pressing Liverpool high up the pitch, disrupting their build-up play and forcing them into mistakes.
High pressing is all about intensity, coordination, and winning the ball back as quickly as possible in dangerous areas. It's a high-risk, high-reward tactic, and it requires the team to be incredibly fit, organized, and disciplined.
Newcastle executed it brilliantly against Liverpool, and it was a key factor in their success. They forced Liverpool into playing long balls, they won the ball back in midfield, and they created several scoring chances as a result.
It's not just about winning the ball back, though. It's about disrupting the opponent's rhythm, forcing them to play long balls, and preventing them from building up attacks smoothly from the back. It's a way of dictating the tempo and intensity of the game.
Exactly. It can be a very effective way of stifling the opposition and creating chances for yourself. But as I said, it's a high-risk tactic. If you don't press effectively, you leave yourself vulnerable to counterattacks.
And speaking of counterattacks, we saw another team excel in that area this week, Aston Villa. Under Unai Emery, they become masters of the counterattacking style, soaking up pressure and then hitting their opponents on the break.
Emery is a tactical genius, and he's transformed Villa into a very dangerous team on the counter. They have pacey forwards like Watkins and Bailey, they're well-organized defensively, and they're incredibly clinical in front of goal.
Their first-half performance against Brentford was a masterclass in counterattacking football. They were patient, disciplined, and they waited for the perfect moment to strike. And when they did, they were ruthless.
It's not just about having the right players, it's about having the right mentality. You need to be disciplined, organized, and you need to be able to strike with precision when the opportunity arises.
Now, Habibi Gang, we've talked a lot about tactics, but we want to hear from you. What tactical approaches impressed you the most from Matchday 14?
Did you see any teams using innovative tactics that caught your eye? Were there any tactical battles that you found particularly intriguing?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your perspectives on the tactical side of the game.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily football deep dives. We're your one-stop shop for all things Premier League.
We've got analysis, insights, predictions, debates, and of course, plenty of that Habibi banter that you know and love.
So join us every day as we break down the latest action, discuss the big talking points, and delve deeper into the beautiful game.
Now, before we wrap up this segment and move on to our final thoughts, let's take a quick look at the Premier League table and see how things are shaping up after Matchday 14. As we mentioned earlier, Liverpool are still at the top, but their lead has been cut to 7 points after that draw against Newcastle.
Arsenal are still very much in the race, sitting 7 points behind Liverpool. But they'll need to keep up their winning ways if they want to close that gap. Every match from here on out is crucial for them.
And then there's Manchester City, lurking 10 points behind Liverpool, but with a game in hand. They showed signs of their old dominance against Nottingham Forest, and with De Bruyne back to his best, they could still be a major threat.
It's going to be fascinating to see how the top of the table unfolds over the next few weeks. With so many teams still in contention, we could be in for one of the most exciting title races in Premier League history. But let's not forget about the other end of the table, where the relegation battle is just as intense.
Absolutely. Southampton are in real trouble after that heavy defeat to Chelsea, and they'll need to find a way to turn things around quickly if they want to avoid dropping down to the championship. They need a spark.
Yeah.
A change of momentum.
For sure.
Something to give them a fighting chance.
It's going to be tough for them, that's for sure. But as we've seen time and time again in the Premier League, anything is possible. Teams have pulled off great escapes from seemingly impossible positions before.
Yep.
And Southampton will be hoping to do the same. But enough about the past, Habibi Gang. Let's turn our attention to the future. Matchday 15 is just around the corner, and there are some mouth-watering fixtures on the horizon. I'm already buzzing for the weekend.
Me too. I'm particularly excited for the clash between Chelsea and Manchester City. That's a real top-of-the-table clash that could have massive implications for the title race. It's a battle between two teams in contrasting form.
Yeah, Chelsea are flying high, unbeaten in their last 6 league matches, and they're playing with a real swagger and confidence. They've found their rhythm under their new manager, and they're looking like a real force to be reckoned with.
Meanwhile, City are desperate to bounce back after that recent slump. They showed glimpses of their old selves against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
But they need to find consistency if they want to challenge for the title.
This match at Stamford Bridge is going to be a real tactical battle. 2 of the best managers in the world going head-to-head with a lot at stake. I can't wait to see how it unfolds. I'm expecting fireworks.
And don't sleep on Arsenal. They've got a tricky away trip to Aston Villa, a team that's starting to find its groove under Unai Emery.
That's right. Arsenal can't afford any slip-ups if they want to keep pace with Liverpool at the top of the table. They need to be at their very best against a Villa side that's growing in confidence with each passing week. It's going to be a fascinating test for Arteta's young guns.
It's shaping up to be another action-packed weekend of Premier League football, Habibi Gang. And, we'll be here to break it all down for you right here on Pundit Habibi.
That's right. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and join us for all the latest analysis, insights, predictions, and of course, our signature Habibi banter.
We're your one-stop shop for everything Premier League. We live and breathe this beautiful game, and we love sharing our passion with you, the Habibi gang.
So until then, stay passionate, stay informed, and keep those football conversations flowing. Masalama, Habibi gang.